Welcome in, everyone. Happy Friday. We have made it to the week. I'm not going to say weekend quite yet, Stephen, because we still have a few more hours. And based on this week, we're talking offline that there's not been a lot of sleep that's been had this week or for the last couple of weeks. So we have a little bit more, but we've made it to Friday. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I am excited, and it is like Monday all over again.
Yeah, it's not a good
Having a
thing.
great time. We're having a great time over here, and we love what we do. So
That's awesome.
glad to
For
be
those
here.
for those that are just looking, you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't look like Rich Sands. You are correct. It's not just the Fridays talking. You are correct. Rich had a bit of a scheduling travel situation happen. So we have Stephen, and we were just talking offline. You've been with Stella since day one, which is pretty dang impressive.
But thank you. Yeah, I actually started with the AI research lab that Stella spun out of. So I'm 8 years into this.
That's awesome. Okay, so before, it's a Friday. As I'm looking outside, I don't know where you're located. I don't know if you're in Florida or not, but I'm outside my apartment window right now. It is just blizzarding right now. So that's what we have going over here in Chicago. How are you guys doing?
I'm in SoCal, so I'm loving
Oh,
life.
yeah. Life is perfect in 72 and sunny. Where in SoCal are you?
I'm in Orange County.
Okay, nice. Oh, look at
So
Brandy coming in here.
beautiful.
Brandy.
It's a beautiful day out, and things are great here. So
Yeah, my brother's in Thousand Oaks. So he's always like, when are you gonna come out?
I grew up in Thousand Oaks.
Oh, no way. Seriously. Small world
world.
there. Very cool. Very, very cool. Now, it's always, I have to hear about him and like, oh, it's so cold. I'm like, okay, if you say anything above 0 and you say it's cold, I might come through the phone and slap you. He's like, no, it's like 65. I was like, dude, come on, seriously. All good though. All right, we got Brandy coming in here. Brandy, always love seeing your name. Always good to see you in person as well. So let's jump in this. So we just had an epic episode that dropped with Rich, and we were talking offline. I've known Stella for a hot minute. I was introduced to Stella back. I think I may have still been in the dealership. I can't remember if I was or not, but it was right at the transition of restarting my company. And I was just really, as I was telling you, I was really blown away by the capabilities. And there are a lot of great tools out there, a lot of great AI tools out there. And what impressed me the most was the ability, the capabilities, the personalization. And we've got Brian Ortega. So Brian Ortega, good to see you, friend. Always, as I say, so Brian, you'll appreciate this. Steve and I were talking offline. I was like, so within the first 5 minutes, the show's going to go off the rails. That's kind of planned, planned, but not planned. I go, it's usually be like Brian that's going to throw us off the rails. So while that is a normal comment, I'm going to wait for some random comment that I'm going to look down and be like, what? And then we'll go from there. But I was just always very impressed with Stella and the capabilities you guys have, owning your own technology and just the AI in general. And AI, Rich and Rich, not just Rich and I've joked with this a lot of different people. I need to change my company name to, I don't know, BZ Consultants AI, Facts Not Feel, because everyone claims to be AI. And I'm like, you're not AI. But with that, I want to ask you, and I know that you've got Rich's takeaways as well, but what was one of your/Rich's main takeaways from the incredible episode that dropped yesterday?
I mean, just the amount of adoption that's going on in the industry. I mean, when we started this a few years back, moving out of the research lab and into automotive, there was very much a story of why do you need AI? Very much, will AI have a place in my dealership? I think that's not even a question at this point. I think that the question is who and when and how fast and how much, not necessarily if. So I think that that's fundamentally changed in the last few years. I think ChatGPT, all the models that came out that made a big splash in the news, I mean, those large language models really are a watershed event, both in technology and in business. And, I remember many years ago when the first social networks were coming out and everyone was talking about social networks for a few years and saying, well, yeah, we get it, it's social networks, but that had such longevity through decades. We're saying the same thing here. This is the next wave, and everybody getting together and understanding how to put these systems in place and how to work with them. I mean, AI is not going to replace people, but AI super people are going to replace people.
And that is something that I'm big on. And I joked about this yesterday in my walk and talk that if it wasn't for AI, one, I'd have to hire a team of people. Let's be honest. Like I'm in Chat GPT all the time. And then thing is, you become so reliant on it that I'm like, oh crap, it's down or it's not working correctly. I'm like, I can't write an email by myself. Like, how am I supposed to send this without you correcting it first? You become so reliant on it. But without that, it has made my life so much easier. And to your point, AI is not going to replace humans. It's going to replace humans that refuse to adapt and change and use AI. That's what it's going to replace. All those mundane tasks, whether it's a Stella, where do I really want to be answering every freaking phone call that comes in? Probably not. Do I have time to do that? No, I don't. I can be doing so much more with my time and energy and be more efficient and bring more ROI to the business if I just use this to streamline stuff. I'm going to get to a couple comments here. They've been around. I apologize, guys. Normally, I'm up on the comments here. So I always good to see you, Chrisella. I love you. Hearts to you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And we've got Peter. You're going to have to help me on this one a little bit here. Brian has an awesome command of the English language. I'm not
That's
sure.
true. I can answer that one. Yes, he does.
Okay. All right. Brian, you're holding out on me, buddy. And beep up. There's your AI for the day. There we go. All right. So we've got AI. It does an amazing job. Like I said, I don't care if it's something like Stella or any type of AI. It's to really say, okay, how does this best, as you all have heard me say multiple times, how does this better integrate with my people, process, and other products? Because you have a great tool that does awesome things and it streamlines everything. But if internally people are against AI or they think it's coming for their job or it doesn't integrate with the other 99 products you have, then why are you doing it? You're just making it so much more difficult for everybody else. That's a big one for me.
So actually, in our personal lives, our relationships take work. In our professional lives, our relationships take work. It's actually the same thing with the AI. The AI technologies need to put the work into building the relationships with the humans. That means the observability, the collaboration, working together with the people. And the more AI companies become isolationist, the harder it is for existing employees to adopt that technology.
Mm-hmm. Amen. And I've seen it happen so many times where you're trying to get ahead of the curve and you're trying different things, which is great. At that same breath, it's like, okay, once again, does this integrate with everything? Jeff, I know you're coming in right now. I just want you to let you know that it is a full out blizzard out right now at my window. So you enjoy your 70-degree weather and I'll get some image of text with you and your little Amazon Alexa that is so warm. And Ethan, AI is a great very productivity booster. It's very difficult to say on a Friday there, Stephen. I don't know. These are hard multiples. Productivity. There we go. Yeah. It does. Like I can send a bunch of data into whatever my choice of AI is and quickly have something spit out to me versus spending 2 hours going through and saying, okay, what does this mean? I mean, something as simple as, hey, there was a question a client of mine had, and I was like, you know what, there's like 7 emails going on. I don't have the time to read this. I put all of them into ChatGPT and it summarized it for me real quick, and then was like, here are the best course of actions. Now, that being said, this leads me to the next point is that you are still the human in the situation. I know that I've got to go back and check those references. I mean, case in point, I was doing something for another client earlier this week, and it gave me 3 articles, which you think is great. But when you actually look at those articles, they're dead pages. They don't exist anymore. Now, am I going to just send that off without ever doing my human portion of it? No, I'm not. I'm going to make sure that it's, but the time that it saved for me to get exactly what I needed in a fraction of the time versus going to Google and just sorting through whoever has the best SEO, and it doesn't mean it's actually the best thing. It has made my life way easier. Jeff, it's snowing there. What is going on right now? I'm a little concerned that Denver maybe needs to look at their weather a little bit. And Brian, I thought the same thing, Brian. I was like, wait, there's 2 Ortegas going on? Like, I'm very confused right now. One Ortega I think is enough, but the world could use more. So I guess we're having 2 now.
You already solved that problem.
Yeah, right? Seriously, we're done. We've got Ethan coming in here. We're good to go. It's awesome. It comes across as Ethan O, but I think that's Ethan Ortega, right?
It is.
Okay. What was one of your other takeaways?
What was my other takeaways? Just keep an eye on Stella. We're going places.
Okay, there you go. All right.
I can tell you, we love what we do. We love our dealers. We're micro focused on the use cases and how to be specifically useful in the dealership. And there's just so much opportunity. Even what we're doing here on the appointment side is probably 5%, 10% of what AI can actually do in a dealership. So it's just, be aware of the AIs that are out there. Don't let anyone control your AI strategy. Be informed.
Amen. And Rich brought this up a couple different times. This is something for me as well too. I'll say when you're in marketing and advertising, auto is very, very specific. There are nuances. If you can do marketing and advertising on auto, you can do it anywhere. Now, if you're coming into auto, it takes a little bit to understand the nuances of everything. And I say that is that when you're looking at AI, please find something that's auto specific. The terms are different. The acronyms are different. What one thing may, even with the OEM acronyms for the exact same thing, they all have different acronyms. So understanding, hey, when they say this or this or this is what it means. So choosing something, a product and a software, whatever I call it, AI tool that is in fact auto specific is really, really key. As things go off the rails real quick, like when you're talking about, we're going to say Pathfinder. If I say Pathfinder, if I say Tacoma, in automotive, we automatically know what that means. You get to any other industry, you're going to have to work with that because is it a Pathfinder vehicle? Is it a Pathfinder boat? Is it Tacoma, Washington? Is it Tacoma truck? There's all these little nuances that we have that really need to be defined inside of that AI. To me, that's a huge, huge one.
And so one of the things that you're saying, which I absolutely agree with, is that, auto has its own vocabulary. And that's why I think sitting in the middle of language is really important. I mean, on a personal level, I joined this company because of the fact that I believe that natural language is how people communicate. And it communicates feelings, it communicates facts. Hey, yeah, there's a plug for you. Yeah. But language is how we communicate as people. And as engineers, I speak for the engineering community here. We have a lot of hubris.
Yes.
Okay. In fact, we got a whole 3-4 generations of people to learn what a mouse was. Can you imagine that? I remember the first time I saw a mouse. What's this thing? And so we're essentially been communicating with computers since 1980 using sign language. Right? Keyboard, keystrokes, mouses. These are fundamentally sign language. And so the use of language, both written and spoken language, to talk to your systems and interact with your systems is why we do this. It's just, that's where you get the nuances, and that's where you get the power. I mean, the fact that you can tell ChatGPT your problems and do it, imagine telling your dealership Siri what to do.
Yep. As all of our phones just turned on. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And and you got a huge shout out for Brian Ortega here, who I love dearly. Valley High Toyota uses STELLA Automotive AI. So apparently there's your dealer recommendation right there from the one and only Brian Ortega here. And you bring up a good point. And I will say, when you said mouse, I just had flashbacks for those that are old enough to understand what the mouse was when it first came out, and then like the generations, that stupid rollerball in the freaking mouse that like you're trying to pull out and get all the lint off of it, man. It was, and you never could get all the lint off of it, but I always tried.
Polishing your mouse ball.
Well, yeah, then that's where the show goes off the rail right there. So yes.
Awesome. I'll keep back on track.
Yeah, no, we're all about that. So the other thing that we talked about a lot, that I know that Rich brought up, that I thought was a really good, I don't have the numbers in front of me right now. He was talking about how many people, the percentage of people that would want to work with AI over a human. And there are times like I want the human, but I also know, hey, let's take Amazon. When I'm trying to return something to Amazon, do I talk to a human being? No, not unless I have to. I'm chatting with a robot, and I know I am. I'm okay with that. It's a lot quicker. Now, on the flip side, there's a company out there that I've been trying to get a hold of for over a week now. And it says the chat's a 45-minute wait. I was like, I'm not waiting 45 minutes to chat with someone. Don't put chat on your site then. So that says, I'll send a ticket in for you. I have emailed every day for now 8-9 days, yet to hear a response from anybody. It'd be a lot easier if I could just talk to an AI and have them fix the problem versus me continually reaching out and not hearing anything back. That's a waste of my time. It's honestly a waste of their time because they're not checking it either. So all these little things of like knowing that AI is not coming, AI is here. And how are you, once we go back to best, how do you utilize it? But those little things as well were speak to me. I wish I had the number. Do you have the numbers off your top of your head of what how many percentage of people prefer?
Something like 70%.
Okay, that's crazy.
It's crazy. And here's why. People's time matters. And as much as you talk about AI as being dehumanizing, the fact is, at scale, it gives back people's time. So there's this concept in AI of hyper-personalization at scale. Hyper-personalization at scale. Knowing exactly what you need, when you need it, quickly. AI is in a much better position because you can't have that level of knowledge and conversation. Was it 31%? Sorry,
31% of customer surveys say they prefer. That is within the show notes, so I'm going to go off of that. That's what was sent over to me.
I'm going to go after that too. I'm a tech guy, not a numbers guy.
So for those that are listening and not, you can't see the screen,
got
it's
it, I got it back.
31% of, yeah, 31% of customers surveyed say they prefer to book a service appointment using an AI assistant.
I think that'll go up as the
Oh,
systems get more complicated.
agreed.
And
Agreed.
that's where we're focused, because the edge cases are the interesting things. It's definitely growing. But
100%.
the edge cases are the interesting things of all the little questions that people have. Because when you're trying to schedule a service, you're not actually trying to schedule a service. You're trying to get something done in your vehicle. And if they
Yep.
can help you figure out what needs to be done, give you the comfort that it's going to be handled, then you'll commit.
And for those that obviously we know at this point, Brooke's a big data nerd. So I have a source here on that 31%. It's a CDK study published by Auto News in October of 2024. So while that's 2024, it's a few months ago, we just continue to be more and more reliant on AI and be okay with it. Yes, there are times that I still need to talk to someone. I'm going to pick up the phone, call me, text me, whatever, but I want to talk to a human. But by and large, yeah, this is Kevin Fry had this example. This is, I don't know
why
how.
I mentioned that, because there was another study that was done not by CDK, and it was about
Okay.
millennials. So that's where I'm getting my numbers mixed up, because
Okay.
there's definitely a generation skew, right?
Oh, for sure. Yes.
The older the generation, the more they are seeking the human contact, not just to
Yep.
go get their car in, but go talk to the people that have been helping them, and it's part of their probably smaller friend circle. I know as I get older, my friend circle gets smaller. So
Hmm. Yes. That is, that's a whole other episode in itself. A
fair enough.
table. I have a lot of colleagues. I know a lot of acquaintances, but that table of like dear friends, that is definitely continued to shrink over the years. So yes,
You know,
and it is. What was
go ahead.
that?
We always look at Stella as trying to give time back. Time back to the advisors to work with the people that are in front of them, time back to the callers to not have to wait in queue. So that's what we're trying to
Yeah.
do. Time back to the people in the equation.
Yes, I know I said this on the show, but also I've talked about it previously as well, is that there was a study done, I want to say it was 3 or 4 years ago, and 83% of your Google ad phone calls that are coming into the store are for service. Now,
Mm-hmm.
sales is paying for that. I get that, but the service ones are coming in. So knowing that and knowing how, if you've been in a dealership at all, you know that that phone doesn't stop ringing, whether in a BDC service, I don't care where it doesn't stop ringing. So if I can now, in essence, stop it from ringing, have it be answered, and only when people actually need to talk to someone that I can't figure it out, then it rings. How much more productive we can be with our time, our energy, and our tasks that continue to pop up and say, do this and this and this. And you actually have time to do it now, which is amazing.
I mean, there's a lot of neuroscience studies around the psychology of distraction. And so, when that phone rings, it's actually a distraction, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what you're trying to get done. I mean, if you're talking to a person, that phone rings, your phone beeps, and you go look at it, and even though you're talking to somebody, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so anything that where AI can do to help filter that noise without removing the human connection is a good thing.
So this is also going back a few years ago. I believe it was 60 Minutes that did this, but they did a whole study of just taking, like anytime I do this, my phone is put on Do Not Disturb. And they took a bunch of phones and they put them all on like a little basket everywhere. And it was nuts to watch how the brain synapses fire when your phone dings and how you actually like start to have heart palpitations if you don't go check it. And that anxiety keeps building and building and building. I got to go check it. I got to check it. Or just being detached to your phone. I'm like, man, I would love to take some time and not have to look at my phone forever. But it is very interesting to your point of the psychology behind it, because it does from at a cellular level. When your phone dings, it does something to you. And we've all created this little, I don't know, our own vicious cycle on this, but 100% it does.
There's a book called The Distracted Mind, which is an incredible read on this subject. And they actually they talked about tests that were done where they said, we're going to do like an electrocardiograph. And they actually said, hey, it's the phone's interfering with the test. Can we put it to the side? And they put it this far. And they actually measured the further they moved, the further away. They got an anxiety spike reaction in the test subjects.
It's so crazy. I did a show. It was really early on in the show, and it was I came across this term called fubbing, and it's when
Mm-hmm.
your phone snubs you, more or less. You're getting snubbed by a phone, and they did a bunch of studies, and okay, if I have my phone on two strangers, they put them at a table, right? If the phone was turned up versus turned down versus it wasn't there, and by and large, when the phone was not present on the desk, the two strangers goes, oh yeah, I can be friends with this person. versus if the phone, even because a lot of times, oh, we'll just turn it over. Well, it doesn't do anything. Like it maybe decreases a little bit, but at the end of the day, that confidence and, hey, can I trust this person? Could I be friends with this person? That number only went one direction when the phone wasn't there. So it is crazy how that just a presence of a phone can distract people. And I know we went a completely different way on this, but to really take the time to understand the psychology behind it is massive.
Well, I think that as we're bringing it back to the topics at hand, properly deployed AI systems can help people get the quick response and quick answers they need without waiting. I mean, I have seen a lot of human calls and a lot of AI calls, and it's amazing how patient people are when when a person says, "Hold on one sec, let me check," and waits 60 seconds. Then people won't wait 60 seconds for an AI, right? They won't just sit and wait. They just sit and chat and wait. Okay, fine, bringing it up. But if you wait 3 seconds with an AI, they're like, nope, don't like it.
Amen.
That's pretty
And we've all been there. You hear a little typing in the background. And I don't know if it was Rich, who was I talking to about this, but like when the typing is happening in the background, what that actually signifies. And I didn't know this. I'm gonna give Rich credit for this because I don't remember who told me. But that's when the AI can't figure it out. And so it's searching outside of the parameters. Is that correct?
I'm not gonna, it depends on the context, right? It just means it's thinking. Now, the question is which system. It means give me a minute. I need to work on this. That's what it means. It could mean it's searching outside the system. It could mean it's just taking a long time to process. So I try to be accurate, but the answer is it depends on the system. Anyone can put a typing noise for any reason.
Okay, good to know. You always just think it's I'm thinking, but I was like, oh, I didn't even think about the fact that if it's not built with, I'll say, the bumper rails in place, the bumper pads in place, that it could be going outside. And so I was like, I never even thought about that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Interesting. Anything else we're missing here, Mr. Steven?
Booking rates. So Jeff Share says booking rates up to 40% faster, conversion rate improvement 20% higher. That's great. I mean, I do see that. I mean, I do see phone calls that people get in and get out really, really quickly. And there's none of the system latencies of people having to look up systems or to get, or to go, bring up profiles. So I do see, calls taking a minute 30 in some cases, which is a really short amount of time to get answers. So those are great statistics, Jeff. I would say that the technologies are getting better, including Stella. And I would say that people's familiarity with it are getting better. And there is, a massive amount of maintenance appointments to go through a lot of these dealerships. And a lot of that stuff is very routine. And I think we're going to see an ever optimized approach to making sure that that's as seamless as possible. So I think that we're just going to see more and more conversion rates as both the systems get faster, people get more comfortable, and the edge cases, meaning the not everyday occurrences, get easier and easier to handle. So,
amen to that. And that's even something I noticed as well, is how the normal conversation we'll say 4, 5, 8, 10 minutes. It can go really long versus AI. Just as I said, most of my emails are going to go into some type of AI to be like, hey, streamline my thought process here. So instead of taking 3 paragraphs, I can get it done in 1. It's the same thing with a phone call. Hey, instead of being on the phone for 10 minutes and me back and forth trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing in life, and I don't know, and I got distractions with this and this and this, AI is just like, oh, here's what you need. Here's a solution. All right, I can't fix it. Let me get you over to somebody.
Not only that, but we can actually look at history of interactions with the customer and say, well, last time we had these set of interactions. This time we can reference that and go, hey, Brooke, welcome back. You want your usual. Right? So actually, as much as I love dealing with AI, because we do it every day, the actual goal is to make it quickly and efficiently out of the way.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like we all know the stories, whether it's your airline of choice or whatever it is. You call in and it knows based on my phone number my entire history. Freaky, not freaky, however you want to phrase it. It makes my life a lot easier. What drives me bonkers is that you know who I am when I call in. And then the next person I get, oh, can you please give me your membership number again? But you guys greeted me with it. So obviously you know it. So that, once again, you have an AI tool that doesn't integrate with either the products or the people or something doesn't integrate. But that is so frustrating when I have to repeat myself multiple times. And I actually did a whole talk on this of what annoys people the most when you call in. One of them,
Yeah.
one of the top ones is having to repeat myself. Obviously, long hold time, someone being rude, but it is, if those things aren't curtailed, or you're not going through and experiencing that the customer experience, how they view it and what they're going through. And I don't care if it's AI, I don't care what you do, but always go through and double check and spec what needs to be expected out of whatever process that is, to understand, do we just make it much harder for our employees and the customer? Because that's not what it should be doing.
Right. I agree. I agree. I mean, a lot of this stuff is very technically complex, but operationally, it's very simple. You want correct information in the right hands as quickly as possible, and never trap people. So if they need additional help, make sure they can get help. So, that Stella, a lot of what Stella does is scheduling service appointments, but that's not actually the right game. The right game, and you'll see that more from this throughout the year, is just help the customer.
Yep.
Right? If it helps the customers to schedule a service appointment, that's fine. But it's come in for a walk-in, or to bring them in and get their vehicle serviced quicker. That's all I'm going to say at the moment. Right? The goal is to help the customer. And as long as you stay hyper-focused on customer, then the dealers will go along with it.
I agree. I 100% agree. I think we've hit the main points here. It's the first of the month. I think we've consolidated this down to pretty good topics here. If anything else we missed, or I think we covered it all.
I think we covered it all. Any questions?
Yeah, I think we're good, man. All right, everyone. I just want to first say, Stephen, Rich, the entire Stella team, thank you for everything you guys are doing. I always love chatting with you. Rich and I have done quite a few live shows together, and it took a minute for us to get the episode up and going, and just for our schedule are a little crazy. And I love watching what you guys do and continue to grow and just to help and move the auto industry forward. So with that, everyone, you all know the drill at this point. Find a way to serve today, whether that is a kind smile, or that is opening a car door for somebody. Just do something to better someone's life and bring a little bit more joy into their life. With that, everyone, we'll see everybody next week.